What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about Protex Mobility, tickers TXTM, one of the hottest over-the-counter stocks out there. I'm going to be covering some updates that you definitely need to know, one of which is about the website. Secondly, why we've been suppressed on the price action lately. But before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And also, if you do like any other over-the-counter stocks that you want kind of reviews on, let me know in the comments below. I can definitely review that. But with all that, let's get right to it. So want to start off by looking at the volume technical breakdown of what happened today. So it did end roughly about 3.08% down. Volume 54.7 million. So that's definitely a nice little bump up from yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit more of a abnormality that happened. I'm not really necessarily sure why, but I'm going to allude to that when I talk on kind of what's being suppressed and why we are being suppressed. But there's a couple updates I want to give you, one of which is right here. So technically, we are going to have the website live in the next few days. That is a very big thing, especially for an over-the-counter stock, and as transparent as RSA/Protex, whatever you want to call them, they definitely do need a website. So very good, especially nobody really wants to see this. And in reality, though, I think a lot of people don't necessarily always use, for instance, Twitter. I've done a lot of polls in the past because obviously my primary platform is YouTube. So generally speaking, I've asked a lot of people, do you use Twitter? And roughly of all of my subscribers on my main channel, which is around 17, almost 18,000, only roughly about 10% of people actually did use Twitter. So I think generally speaking, them using Twitter, which is still very good for an over-the-counter stock, I think they need to really make sure that this website is definitely a stunner and needs to provide a lot of actual credible details, especially like I said, if they're trying to be as transparent as possible, this definitely needs to be on their A game. So my own 2 cents. Like I've always said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes. So a couple of things I just want to give you some updates on. So like I said about the website, that was a very big update. In addition to, it does look like right here. So to be clear, TXTM has always released updated share count when financials get posted, so everyone sees at the same time. OTC markets have been paid directly, no dilution. That's a very big thing. Like I said, when it comes down to OTC stocks, the common conception is that they dilute for absolutely every single thing. So it's very good to see that they are kind of reiterating that we are not diluting. Going back to the point that they have no debt, very beneficial. This is why I still cover TXTM, because this is going to do a lot of big things. And stay tuned, I am going to also do a little bit more of a comparison video when it comes down to TXTM, because I think a lot of people might really value that. So make sure you do subscribe to my other channel. I'm going to put the link in the description below as well to Financial Journey. So pop over there, because I'm most likely going to post that one there just so it gets a little bit more of a viewing audience. In my opinion, might be a little bit more beneficial. So make sure you pop over there and subscribe as well. But like I said, when it comes down to why we've been suppressed technically for the last little bit, I personally feel it is because of shorts. They've been really manipulating as far as OTC stocks for a while now. Ever since the SEC kind of came in February 2021, started to really just make a lot of fear. They started to halt a lot of stocks, and basically once OTC stock is halted for investigation purposes, you basically lost your money, and it really does suck when that does happen. So shorts have really been able to manipulate the lower volume. So especially like I said yesterday, lower volume means a lot of actual shorts getting in. So I'm just going to break that down for you what that means. So as of yesterday, you can see of the total volume, which was only 20.9 million, 56% of it overall was attributed to shorts. So that's pretty substantial if you ask me. And generally, just want to show you this. Over the last 5 days, you can see a growing trend starting to form. And how I see things is typically shorts are very smart, most of them at least. They're very good at killing momentum. And so when it comes down to it, though, I'm just going to break it down as well when I do technical analysis and elaborate and piece it all together. But over the last 5 days, 52% of the trading activity has been attributed to shorts. And you can see over the last 10 days and 20 days, 50 days, it's been a lot lower than that. So that 10% variance is actually a pretty big deal. Like I said, take that how you see that. This is why I like to do a little bit more of a deeper dive behind things and kind of piece together what is actually happening. And like I said, going back to Twitter, because I personally like to use a lot of the information, very credible stuff on there. So you can see it as far as the breakdown of what RSA actually did receive of the preferred shares. So it does look like 100,000 of the Series D, 75%, 50,000 of the 100 available thousand of Series A, 10%, and ultimately they're saying that they can cannot sell shares as converted until 1 year post issuance, and can't sell more than 1% of their outstanding shares per quarter. So that's a pretty big deal, and a little bit low if you ask me. It is what it is. Personally, I feel that ProText or RSA or whatever you want to call them isn't really out there to screw the investors at all. If anything, they're really promoting more of a community, obviously the TXTM tribe, but still it's a little bit lower than what I'm familiar with, but still, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. So looking on the actual technicals, overall, though, the market was very much overbought, and this is why we cooled off a little bit. Shorts took advantage, caused it to go down a little bit, unfortunately killing the upward momentum, the secondary momentum that we were going through. But still, despite that though, RSI is currently at 50. Stochastic, we do have a little bit more of a deviation, so red line above the black, insinuating a little bit more of a bearish kind of a downtrend possibly, but still 54 is fairly neutral. Momentum, number of buyers have been fairly flat. On the actual chart, positive thing, we did actually stay above the 50-day moving average despite the downtrend and downward pressure that TXTM has been undergoing. So that's a very positive thing, more so from the technical stance, but especially, like I said, with the higher short volume and in general just lower volume on ProText, definitely shows that it can be very volatile. But you can see, as far as if you look at the actual individual trades and the ticks, exactly what happened today, clearly it does want to go up. Just unfortunately, like I said, it gets manipulated at very critical times, so it kills momentum. It is what it is. We can't really necessarily change that. And overall, I feel that you just need to find a good stock to invest in the long term. Don't worry about the short-term volatility, because TXTM or ProText is going to be very volatile in the future, especially, like I said, when it comes down to over-the-counter stocks and shorts manipulating the lower volume, it's going to be extremely volatile. So especially more so on Friday, you can see what happened. So this is the first, second, and third resistance points. So 0.69, 0.76 and 0.81. We did actually break past the first resistance point, and we actually did touch the first support point. So this is why, like I said, a lot of volatility. But in general though, I personally feel that we can easily trend up once the shorts find that ProText is actually a legitimate company, and once it does get a very good catalyst, then we can easily hit all-time highs. My own 2 cents. But with all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. And with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on ProText.